Today, day 2 of the Entrepreneur Life series. And yesterday we talked about what the word entrepreneur means. And today I'm going to ask the question, why would you choose the entrepreneur path versus the employee path? And for me, there's lots of reasons. I never really enjoyed working for anybody else. Even when I was younger, when you take jobs when you're 16, 17, 18, I hated being told what to do. If you can relate, you can write in the comments, I relate, because many people don't like it. Some people are okay with it. They don't mind being told what to do. I really never liked being told what to. I always had a problem with authority. I'm one of those guys, okay? A nightmare. I'm a nightmare to be around when I'm told what to do. And that's one of the first things I always wanted, was to work for myself. Even though I never knew how to do it as a teenager. I never really knew it was possible or how to go about it. Because the shitty school I was in, most schools, they don't teach you how to be an entrepreneur. They don't talk about starting your own business. They talk about getting a job and staying there forever. And going to college and getting a degree and getting a job and staying there forever. That's what most schools do, at least back in the early 2000s, late 90s. So I never knew about starting a business or being an entrepreneur, okay? I just knew about, I want to make money, I want to work for myself, and I don't want to get up in the morning if I don't have to. And but really what happened was, when I got into health and fitness, like around 2006, I loved health fitness. I played sport my whole life. Played a fairly decent level of basketball with a lot of good friends of mine who are also very, very good at basketball and very competitive, and we used to fight a lot. And basketball's a whole other story, okay? I had my own issues with that and how that went. But I was always into sport and playing, and that team and those teams at that fairly high level in Ireland, we had a lot of trainers very young, like at 16, 17. We were exposed to lifting and squatting, and then we were doing like plyometrics, and being around a fairly good level of sport was very, very, beneficial for me. That's what I love to do. So when I got into health and fitness, I just loved it, right? So even though I was working for somebody else, I loved it. But then by the time, after a couple of years of doing that, then working on the ships, and even though it was a commission now with sales, I could earn a lot more money. I was still, had to be in at that time and had to work, and I had to hit this target, and I was working for other people. And that's something I didn't love doing. I really didn't love it. Even on the ships, I was traveling the world. It was tax-free. It was a good lifestyle. And it was fun, but I was still working for other people. And in 2010, I was given a gift. Okay, I'll never forget this. It was in the airport, flying on the way home from the ships. And the gift was Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. And if the person who gave me that gift is watching, thank you for that, because that was an incredible gift. And that changed my whole mindset. Because Rich Dad, Poor Dad, a lot of people have read that book. If you haven't, you should. A lot of people have heard of it, but it's a game changer. It just changed my whole thinking. I was 24 years old. I knew I wanted to work for myself. I knew I wanted to be rich. I wanted to be a millionaire. I wanted to travel the world, but I didn't know how I was going to do it. Okay, I was in health and fitness. I was working on the gyms. Even though I was on a commission base, and I had the highest sales out of almost everybody of 140 ships. Like, there's many, many weeks and months where I was number one, and I was always in the top, always, even within the first couple of months. But I was always going to be limited to what I could earn, right? So I really wanted to earn as much as possible. And Rich Dad, Poor Dad talked about the cash flow quadrant. And this is what opened my mind to being an entrepreneur, being a business owner. And the cash flow quadrant talks about 4 different types of categories in terms of how you work and how you earn money. And the first category is employee. And even on the first 2, it's employee and self-employed. And it has a clock and the money. And basically what it means is you put in the hours, you work the hours in the day, and then you get the money. Okay, so as an employee, your money is limited by the hours you work. If you're in a job and you work 8 hours a day, you can only make money for those 8 hours. You're paid by the hour, not by the value you bring, unfortunately. Secondary is self-employed. So even though you might own, a gym, or you're a barber, you can only cut so many heads of hair in a day. As a gym, you can only stay open X amount of hours per day. So you can only make money again by the clock. You're limited. And you have to put the time in to get the money back. And this is something I'll talk about in a later video: active income versus passive income, and progressive income versus linear income. That will come later in the series. But right now we're going to talk about, these 4 different ways of earning money. So the first 2, employee and self-employed, it's limited by the clock. And you have to put the hours in to get the return out. And if you want to put more time in, you can't, because you're limited. Yeah, you can work overtime, but still you're limited, right? So your earning is always capped. And if you stop working, you get sick, or for whatever reason you're not able to put the hours in, the money stops. And I could immediately identify that. I was like, holy shit, that's where I am. I don't want to be there. Okay, I want to earn more. So then you get to the right side of the quadrant and it talks about business owner and investor. And business owner gets better now because the clock is out of it. When you create a business, you're creating leverage. Okay, so you can have a business where you have a system that's running. It can be based on people, or it can just be based on a technical or electronic system that's going to produce you income. And then you have investor, where your money is making you money. Your money goes to work for you, and that's 24 hours because money never sleeps, right? So this quadrant, I was like, holy shit, this book in 2010 just blew my mind. And I made a decision then, okay, I'm going into the business owner side of things. I don't want to be an employee anymore. I don't want to be self-employed, because even as a personal trainer, when I was running the gyms, I was very free. I had a lot of freedom. I was running the gym. I was doing my own PT sessions, and I was teaching. I was doing seminars, so I could make more money. I was making really, really good money actually back in 2008 and everything. But I was still limited by the clock. And then if I wanted to go away for 2 or 3 months, now I did. I told them I'm leaving for 3 months, and I went to America every summer, to Boston. I played basketball every summer, and I worked over there. But typically in a job, if you get older and you're in a serious job, you can't just disappear for 2 months or 3 months. And I always wanted to do that. Since I was 16, I'd go abroad somewhere for 3-4 months to just do something different, because that's just the way I want to live. So when I read that book in 2010, I was like, oh my God, I need to be a business owner, because the business owner now means you're not limited. The money is not limited by the clock. And now more and more people are aware of this. Thank God for the internet. Thank God for Instagram in a lot of ways, and social media, where people can see other people who are doing that. And it's just a phenomenal way to live, because you can leverage. It's all about the word leverage. Okay, it's about multiplying your income through a system, whether it's people, a franchise, a different online model that you're just constantly producing revenue that's not dependent on the clock, on you waking up and working straight away. And then obviously the ultimate goal is investor, and that's for another video as well. We talk about how you can get started on that in a small level. And people think they'll worry about investing when they've made X amount of income. If you don't have the financial habits now, when you have more money, you're not going to know what to do with it. So the best time to start investing in yourself and in ways of generating revenue, multiplying itself, is to start when it's small. Because it's much easier to lose 100 or 500 or 1,000 than it is 50,000, 100,000 or 1,000,000. So you have to get into the good financial habits now, but again, that's for another video. But I just wanted to talk to you quickly. But today's video was, why would you choose the entrepreneur road, the business owner road, over the employee road? And there's many reasons, many reasons, from the personal development to the personal freedom, to the choices, to the independence, to so many reasons. To not liking authority, like I said at the beginning, I never met a person who I felt deserved to be in charge of me. I never met somebody I said they deserve to be in charge of me, to tell me what to do. I never met someone like that. Now, I work with mentors, and I have people who I work in teams, and that's different. But someone else who says, be here now, take 2 weeks off, be back then, come in at 9, take a break now. I never met someone I felt deserved to tell me to do that or earn that right. So whatever reason you wanted to be a business owner, it's okay, fair enough. But the one reason today I want to talk about, which I just did talk about, was earning the cash flow quadrant, earning the way of an employee, self-employed, dependent on the clock, or being on the right side of the quadrant, business owner and investor. That's a reason enough. If there's no other reason, that's enough reason. It means your earnings are not limited. You can earn money on a Sunday at midnight, or at 2 a.m, or a Saturday. And that's why even the last 7-8 years, people, even to this day, you want to have a meeting, I'm like, how about Sunday too? Like, Sunday? Like, the employee people are so fucking in the bubble of Monday to Friday, 8 to 6, 9 to 6, 9 to 5, that a meeting on this, Sunday's my off day. No. When you're making money 7 days a week, and it's fun, you love what you're doing, there's no such thing as an off day. Yeah, you have time where you relax, where you switch off, of course, but for me, Sunday's the exact same as fucking Tuesday. What's the difference? I go to the beach on a Tuesday more than I go on a Sunday, because there's less people, back when you could go to the beach. Okay, and this was how I always wanted to live, and this is the different mindset that, I have to rest on Saturday and Sunday. Why? You only have to rest from something you don't enjoy doing. If you love what you're doing, like what I'm doing now, or more important, I coach people individually, or I'm teaching people, like I'm about to do this webinar after this, that's what keeps me fired up. I'm alive. I don't need to stop that. I do a lot of calls at 11 o'clock, midnight. I work in time zones. I have people in Dubai. I have people in Europe. When I lived in Dubai, I had people all over the clock. I was doing calls at 1, 2 in the morning. So again, that's why people choose the entrepreneur, the business owner. The biggest reason is just the fact that there's no limits to the earning potential, and you can do it 24/7, and you're in charge of it. So if you haven't read that book yet, get that book, read that book, and I'll be expanding more and more. But this is day 2, and this is a very important thing. Yesterday I told you what entrepreneur means to me, what the word means. Today it's why would you choose that over an employee path? And I think today's video hopefully summed it up for you. If you're watching this live, write live. If you're watching in a replay, write replay. And if this is your first time listening, put a 1 in the comments, okay? Maybe it's on YouTube or Facebook or Instagram. And any questions, always hit me up on DM. So that's today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. Obviously the music at the start made everything better, right? Sometimes you want me to talk, you just want to hear the music. Okay, I can't help it. That's today's video, and I hope you guys got some value. I'm back tomorrow, day 3. I cannot wait to share with you this 30-day Entrepreneur Life series. I hope you're getting value. If you do, give it a like, share it. And if you have any questions about becoming an entrepreneur, or you're an entrepreneur that wants to go to a new level, let's always keep the conversation going. Leave it in the comments, send me a DM. And a lot of people I coach, I'm actually coaching them from employee to entrepreneur. A lot of people, come to me with X, Y, and Z, what they want, and then it turns out to be something so much more, something totally different than what they thought it was. And that's the power of coaching. And a lot of people come to me, they're like not fulfilled and they want more fulfillment. And there's so many aspects of your life that could be reason for that. But ultimately, it all comes back to being in alignment with who you're meant to be. And typically, as an entrepreneur, you can really express yourself more who you want to be. And I'm going to talk about that in other videos as well, that, whatever you can be passionate about, whatever you can love, the closer to your truth, there's no limits. There's no limits. You can earn a lot of money. You can earn a life of complete freedom. And you might think, how am I going to make money from it? It doesn't matter. That will come. But the first thing is opening your mind to the possibility and educating yourself on the entrepreneurial life, on the business owner path. Educate yourself, take it all in, and then make a decision what's the best way for you. So that's it today, day 2. Hope you got value from the video, and I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.